hey, everybody, let's hit the Wayback Machine, too. Let me just do the math in my head. About a month ago.
Oh.
I think it's about a month ago, about three-something weeks ago, hit the Wayback Machine. That was when all Boston Celtics fans were rooting very hard for the Atlanta Hawks. And then 2 days later, rooting very hard for the Chicago Bulls. Why would they root for the Atlanta Hawks and Chicago Bulls? Because the Celtics were the 2 seed at the time and rooting very hard for the Atlanta Hawks because had the Miami Heat won the first play-in tournament game in South Florida. Well, then Miami Heat would be the 7th seed going to Boston in the first round. They didn't want a piece of that. Then they want to just root hard for the Bulls because guess what? They didn't want any piece of the Heat. If the Heat made it at all, who knows how far they could go. Didn't want a piece of the Heat because last year they barely could stand the Heat. They made it out of the kitchen, but they could barely stand the Miami Heat that for some reason matches up very well with the Boston Celtics. Wanted no piece of the Miami Heat in the first round. Instead, they got the Hawks and handily dispatched Atlanta. There's a little bit of scariness, but eventually got took care of business. TCB took care of business. Second round, we all know what happened. They bounced the Sixers in Game 7, and Doc Rivers gets bounced. Then last night, guess who strolled into TD Garden? The Miami Heat. Didn't want to see him, didn't want a piece of him. And then we found out last night exactly why.
Told you guys.
Yep.
Told you.
Yep. 123-116, the final score. Jimmy freaking Butler.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler, 35, 5, and 7. Bam Adebayo and his phenomenal passing with 5 assists. Caleb Martin had a nice night. The Heat went into their halftime locker room, down on the scoreboard, but definitely not out. They dropped a 46-piece on the Celtics in the third quarter. That's a franchise record for the Miami Heat in the postseason.
Did not miss.
46 points. And then Jimmy Butler was just making shots down the stretch. And here we go. The Miami Heat, just one game into the Eastern Conference Finals, now have home court advantage. All they got to do is hold serve when they go back down to South Florida. All they got to do is they playing with house money in the house of the Celtics coming up on Friday night. And then when they return to Miami on Sunday, all they got to do is hold serve over that 72-hour period. And the Miami Heat have shown up in the Eastern Conference Finals with their A games. And that's exactly why Celtics fans were rooting very hard for the Atlanta Hawks. And then the Chicago Bulls just get those guys out. But they didn't. And here are the Heat up 1-0. And Jimmy Butler last night asked a great question with a phenomenal response.
How does this feel to you guys, what you have done so far? And if you go back all the way to that night against Chicago in the play-in, did you think then that something like this would be possible?
Damn right. I did. Damn right we did. And the best part about it is we still don't care what none of y'all think, honestly speaking. We don't care if you pick us to win. We never have. We never will. We know the group of guys we have in this locker room. We know that Coach Spo puts so much confidence and belief in each and every one of us, Coach Pat as well. And so our circle's small, but this circle got so much love for one another. We pump constant confidence into everybody. And we go out there and we hoop. We play basketball the right way, knowing that we always got a chance.
Is that a Hall of Famer?
Great question.
Guess who would be a Hall of Famer over the next month if he wins 7 more games?
Well, yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yep, I agree.
I think that's on the line. That's what's at stake.
I think that's pretty good. Pretty good thought there.
Because every team that he was on, Chicago, Philly, Minnesota, they're out. Guess who's in? This guy. This guy is in, and he is in his own. And Pat Riley, that's who he's referred to, by the way, as Coach Pat. Come on. What he's built in Miami with Spoelstra. Eric Spoelstra is a top-notch coach in this league. And you remember when he took over there years ago? It's just like, okay, Pat just doesn't want to do it anymore. And
Right. And this guy's going to coach LeBron.
This guy.
Oh, sure. Guess what? Pat's going to be coaching this team in like 2 months.
Exactly.
And then they started 9-8, and everyone was wondering what was going on. They got LeBron and Chris Bosh and D Wade, and what has happened? Who's the coach? They're 9-8. Cool. Riley's going to win. Riley's going to step in. Nope. Made 4 straight finals.
Damn straight.
2 titles, and now he's still there.
By the
Hall
way,
of Fame coach.
And conference finals every year since Butler's been acquired.
Yep. It's impressive.
It sure is.
You know, the Heat culture, nobody really knows what that means, but they know what it means.
Well, here's what it means.
And it
Here's-
works.
Here's what it means.
Can't argue.
Because I remember Riley, as the Knicks coach back in the day.
Ooh.
And by the way, soon to come back to HBO Max, or when it comes back, it'll be on something called Max. Just check out Winning Time. That's how long this guy's been around at the NBA level. But let's just put it this way. I remember Riley talking about, I'm sure he still does, something called the disease of Moore. Do you ever heard that?
Oh, yeah.
Disease of Moore. And he says that's what Moore is, what can cause a team to rip itself apart. That I want more. I want more shots. I want more plays called for me. I want more.
Even the offseason. I want more
Exactly.
magazine articles. I want more clothing deals.
More money.
More money.
More max.
More exposure.
Right, as opposed to being part of the collective. Now, that's just a different way of, I guess, a triangle offense, or what Kerr has been selling successfully in San Francisco / Oakland the last decade-ish. The disease of Moore, that's what it is. And this team just plays together. If Duncan Robinson's got to make threes, if Strus has got to make threes, so be it. If Caleb Martin's got to do something, Gabe Vincent's got to do something, so be it. Adebayo, so be it. But when it comes down to it, it's Jimmy Butler who puts this team over the top, if they can make. Obviously, the Celtics have 6 more games of runway if that's what they need. But, man, the Heat have shown that they can win this thing this year right now. And that's exactly why you were rooting for the Hawks and the Bulls.
Every step of the way. And the Bucks. And
You saw this coming.
Get him out. You could see it coming a mile away. These teams have played now, 4 times in the playoffs recently?
It's unbelievable. It's fun.
It's not fun.
Sorry. But it's a fascinating watch. Dangerous 8 seed, to say the least.
Yeah.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.